Good day, folks. I'm Shane Hasty. I'm the lead editor for Culture and Methods at InfoQ.com. My day job is I'm the director of Agile Learning Programs for the International Consortium for Agile, and some of you might know me as the host of the InfoQ Engineering Culture podcast. Once a year, we bring the InfoQ Culture reporters and we ask them to explore what's happening in terms of teams and teamwork and our area of culture. And we're close to releasing, in fact, by the time you see this, it's probably released, it's out there, the latest trend report. We've called this one the Software Teams and Teamwork Trend Report for Q1 2020. Obviously, one of the biggest trends that we see, and we're all being thrown into this right now, is the remote work. Now, when we started putting this together towards the end of last year, remote work was a theme that we saw happening anyway. But now it's been thrust upon many of us, most of us, and getting used to this way of working. And for many of us, it wasn't a voluntary thing. You know, for myself, I've been working remote for 3 years, and it was my choice. So I had the time to prepare the office, believe it or not, looking behind me. But I have the space. It's separate from the house. I can move in and out, and there's this feeling of going to work. But many of you today are probably sitting at a kitchen table, sharing the space with a spouse or partner. You've maybe got children running around. You've got pets wandering in and out. So this is a big difference. We've explored and we present a whole lot of resources and advice and ideas on how to be effective while being remote, because it's not easy. It does require a shift in philosophy, in mindset. And what we do believe is that once we're through this period, the likelihood is high that quite a few of you will actually discover it's quite nice. And this wasting hours every day commuting doesn't actually need to happen. And our organizations will have seen that people can be effective and productive when working remotely. So we do definitely expect that this remote work trend is going to continue beyond the end and the beyond the end of the coronavirus. Another thing that we're seeing as a trend is the rise of quote unquote business agility, the extension of the agile ideas beyond the information technology and moving into other parts of the organization. Now, we can't take extreme programming and just drop it into a marketing team. That's not what we mean by business agility. This is the bringing the agile philosophies, the mindset, the values, and the principles, and applying them in other areas of the business. It's also not running Scrum in an HR team, although HR teams could choose to run Scrum if that makes sense in their context. It's what are the changes that people need to make within HR if we're going to support the organization becoming agile. What are the changes that we need to make in finance, in marketing? And there's techniques or approaches such as beyond budgeting and many other things. At the practices level, one of the things that we've seen jump out in the last year or so, and it's not brand new, but it certainly is coming out, and we're seeing it coming to the fore, is Wardley mapping. Simon Wardley came up with these ideas in 2005, and they've taken a while to percolate through the community. But there's a huge amount of value in thinking of maps, not just process flows. And the extra dimension that Wardley brings is really worth exploring. Another thing that we've seen is important is the impact and the depth of impact that information technology has on society today. We build the products that make modern society possible. With this comes a strong demand for ethical behavior and for moving towards codes of conduct, codes of ethics, But it's not just the codification, it's the way that we behave as software professionals becomes really, really important. And if we don't get our house in order, one of the things that we believe is that governments are going to do it for us. And it's much, much better that change from within rather than pushed from outside. Somewhat akin to this is diversity and inclusion. We're getting better, but we're starting from a really low base. And as an industry, this is an area where we have to get our act together. We have to become more welcoming. It's not about the how many people of what profile do we have on the team. It's how do we create a truly inclusive and supportive environment so that everyone on our team can bring the diversity of thought, the diversity of background, the diversity of experience, the diversity of culture. We know the science is there. Diverse teams are more creative. In information technology today, the key to success is creativity. So let's embrace that diversity and make it real and leverage that to move forward into the future. And this leads to one of the other trends that we've seen is the adoption of more humanistic work practices. Whether we're talking about no projects and moving towards value streams, if we're talking about bringing in ideas from beyond budgeting, if we're talking about holacracy, sociocracy, there are a wide variety. Teal organizations is another area that we see starting to happen. And these are things that are happening in pockets, and different organizations are doing different things, and the experimentation is hugely important here. But what we do know is that in the creative environment that is the software world today, mechanistic hierarchical structures for organizations don't work. We have to find new ways to leverage that diversity to create environments where people feel empowered and are able to make good decisions in service of their customers, the organization, and society as a whole. So I encourage you, download the report, read it, give us your feedback. What are the trends that we haven't seen? And tell us about them. We hope that this is going to be of value to you as you work with your teams and in your organization going forward. Be safe through this chaotic period that the world is in today, and be kind to yourselves. I look forward to meeting you online. Thank you.